Now at 10, details just now coming into our newsroom about a fatal officer-involved shooting in Wyoming. We'll have a live report straight ahead.
People need to respect us being on the road.
A ride of silence honoring two men who were killed while just riding their bicycles in Kent County. How they're being remembered tonight.
And we still have showers and thunderstorms moving through West Michigan. I'll let you know if they're going to be around for tomorrow.
New details emerging in the case of accused killer Jeffrey Willis and his cousin Kevin Bloom. Closer look at the search warrants released today. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Christian Frank. The News at 10 starts now.
From the station with the most local news, Fox 17 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking now at 10, Wyoming police holding a press conference just a few minutes ago following that deadly officer-involved shooting this evening. It happened after 7 o'clock near 32nd Avenue and Eastern. Tonight, we're told a 25-year-old suspect is dead and a Wyoming officer is on paid administrative leave. Let's get right out to Cassandra Arsenault, who's been following this investigation all night for us. She's live at Wyoming Police Headquarters. Cassie?
That's right, Christian. We just got to the police department shortly ago, or we did just get information before that. We were at the scene where Eastern was shut down. They're letting no traffic through at that time. Now, they told us this whole thing started at a Wyoming gun store around 5:30. The suspect took a semi-automatic pistol, ran out the door and onto his bicycle. That's when they called the K9 unit, who was able to track down the bicycle but could not pick up the scent of the suspect at the time. Now, a little bit later after that, about 2 hours, a caller called them at around 7:15 saying they spotted a man on Eastern and 32nd and they thought he had a gun in his hand. That's when an officer went out there and listened to what happened next.
One of our officers was able to locate the suspect walking on 32nd Street near Eastern. The officer exited his patrol vehicle, gave orders to the suspect. The suspect reached for his handgun, pointed it at the officer, and the officer fired his weapon in self-defense.
Now, as you just heard, they are calling this self-defense. The officer that had to make that tough call is not a veteran here at Wyoming. He's only been with this department for about a year, but he did work in Virginia before that. He is on administrative leave. As for the suspect, he was 25 years old. They are going to be conducting an autopsy, but they were not releasing any information at this time about where he was shot or if he released a shot first. They weren't going to tell us all that at this time. We're hoping to get more information even through the night, and of course, we'll bring that to you. For now in Wyoming, Cassandra Arsenault, Fox 17 News.
And Cassie, that administrative leave, standard procedure while they investigate. Is it Kent County who's doing the cleanup, the investigation on this?
Yes, actually, Wyoming's handling this case. I'm actually unsure on the cleanup right now. I will definitely ask that and bring that for our next report. But bringing back to this standard administrative leave, yes, it's a standard procedure. The chief talked a lot about how this is also very traumatic for the officers. It's something an officer never wants to have to do. But again, if the suspect reached for his gun and pointed at the officer, he had no choice whether that gun was loaded or not. Obviously, they don't know that.
Yeah, and those officers are safe and sound tonight too, right?
Yes, no injuries for the officers.
Okay, thanks for that tonight. We'll check back with you a little later. Alpine Avenue closed north of Richmond due to a gas leak tonight. The Grand Rapids Police Department says a 6-inch hole in the main, and crews are working to repair it right now. The road's expected to be back open tomorrow, sometime around noon. Well, you heard that rain coming down our live shot, and parts of the area dealing with flooding after a few days of hard rain. Check out this video from Muskegon. Cars taking it slow out there, but still kind of pushing their luck. At times, visibility was down to 0, especially when you get splashed by those cars going by. Look at that. And it sounds like more of the same headed our way tonight. Joe Kopchak in the Weather Center now with more on what can we expect for the rest of the week out there, Joe.
Well, Christian, the good news is the heaviest rain is kind of sliding through the area. The thunderstorms have really weakened, but not before putting down 2 to 4 inches in an area from near Muskegon up toward Pentwater. So a very heavy rain event this evening, but it is starting to taper off. Take a look at the radar. Notice a lot of the lightning is moving off to the east up towards Saginaw Bay. Back behind it, we still have the rain. This is light to moderate rain but the back edge of that, at least the solid edge of that, is near Milwaukee right now, and so it'll become more scattered during the next 2 to 3 hours. Here's a little bit closer look. This is really the only thunderstorm we have out there right now. This one is going to be coming into Ionia basically right about now and then moving east of that out of our area. This is all light to moderate rain, Rockford down to Kentwood, but again, the lightning during the last hour to two has really started to diminish. Still flood advisories for the next couple of hours. Muskegon, Oceana County, Mecosta County, and over toward the northern part of Newaygo County, and still a flood watch in effect for a good portion of West Michigan. Wouldn't be surprised to see the National Weather Service cancel this in our southern counties. For the most part, I think we're done with the heaviest rain for tonight. Temperatures still in the low 80s to the south, 83 at Kalamazoo. Look at South Haven, 85. It's 70 at Fremont, 71 at Big Rapids. Tomorrow, maybe a couple of morning showers, 82. We get through the majority of Friday dry, 83. Maybe some storms late Friday night. Should miss high school football, and then some early storms on Saturday. Notice we turn much cooler by then. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes, Christian.
All right, thanks, Joe. 2 teenagers will spend between 40 and 75 years in prison for killing a high school junior earlier this year. Carlos Delgado and Quentin Schaefer pleaded guilty back in August to beating and stabbing 16-year-old Michael White to death in Wyoming. You'll remember his body was discovered in Lyons Park last March. Delgado and Schaefer were only 15 at the time, but charged as adults in the case. White was stabbed more than 20 times, and according to police testimony, brass knuckles, a knife handle, and blade all found within 25 feet of his body. One person is dead following a crash on I-94 in Pawpaw this morning. Michigan State Police say a van crossed the center line, hit the semi-truck head-on near mile marker 62. The driver of the van pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the truck was transported to the hospital. No word on that person's condition. Tonight, all lanes reopened about 4 hours later. No secret that Michigan offers some of the best restaurants and breweries in the entire country, and now you'll be able to legally enjoy them with Fido. Well, they're one step closer anyway. Today, the Michigan Senate passed a bill that would allow customers to bring their pets along with them to outdoor dining areas statewide, patios. They're partnering with the state health department to make sure everything is safe. The bill allows you to bring your dog along as long as it doesn't actually enter the interior of the restaurant, and the business allows it, of course. Lawmakers say it'll help restaurants get more customers and even increase tourism.
Their frustration was they couldn't travel throughout Michigan with their pet and enjoy fine dining. So allowing people to be able to travel throughout our beautiful state and enjoy fine dining, to me it's a win-win for the restaurants and breweries who want to offer this option.
If approved by the State House and signed by the governor, local municipalities will then be able to set their own standards for allowing pets on patios or not. The push to put recreational marijuana on the statewide ballot in November has gone up in smoke. The Michigan Supreme Court turned down an appeal by a group trying to get it legalized. The pro-marijuana group submitted more than 350,000 signatures, but the Board of Canvassers says more than half of them were collected outside the allowed time period, which was changed by lawmakers mid-campaign.
It means everything. I wouldn't miss it for anything.
A ride of silence honoring 2 men whose lives were cut short after they were hit by vehicles while riding their bicycles in Kent County. Fox 17's Michael Dupre live in Grand Rapids with how we're getting a better understanding of just how much they meant to the community. Michael?
Well, tribute rides like the one that started here earlier have 2 main goals. The first is to honor the bicyclists killed, and the second is to raise awareness for bicyclists everywhere that they are on the roads and that motorists need to know that.
People need to respect us being on the road.
More than 50 cyclists showing up for this Ride of Silence tribute ride, honoring the lives of Dave Dragalis and Charles Driggers.
It shows support to the community that, cyclists are a brotherhood, where we support each other. If one of us gets hurt or killed, the whole community feels it, and we all mourn, and it helps us to support the family members that are dealing with the loss.
Avid cyclists and children, bikes of all shapes and sizes showing up. A friend of Dave Dragalis, who rode with him every Sunday, says nothing would make him miss this tribute ride.
He meant a lot to this community, to Z's and to a lot in the biking community. It's nice to see a nice turnout. It means everything. I wouldn't miss it for anything.
Some of these cyclists are triathletes like Charles Driggers, who had overcome cancer and was training for a triathlon when he was struck and killed.
Yeah, I'm riding for both of them just to kind of help bring awareness and do what we can. It's a little scary out there, that's for sure.
Scary, because even taking every precaution won't guarantee safety against the dangers they face every time they hop on a bike and hit the road.
You know, you try to do everything you can. You know, you try to wear bright colors. You know, I've got lights on my bike, my helmet, front, back. You do what you can, but it's the head downs generation that's just looking and distracted and, you know, just not paying attention, or either that or just don't care.
The 4-mile tribute ride ending here at Z's Bar, where Dave Dragalis worked as a bartender for more than 20 years. To help raise money for his family, they held a silent auction with some big items like Kanye West tickets. And the owner of Z's Bar is also donating 20% of Wednesday night sales.
20% of the sales to Dave and his family. He was a great employee for 23 years. Nita, his wife, has also worked for me for 14 years. You know, and supporting them, you know, through this tragic accident is the least I can do.
And that silent auction at Z's Bar is still going on until midnight, so you still have some time if you'd like to go and check it out. And while the silent ride has already ended, the cyclists are hoping that awareness raised from it will help save some lives down the road. Live in Grand Rapids, Michael Dupre, Fox 17 News.
Still ahead on Fox 17 News at 10, new details in one of West Michigan's biggest unsolved cases. What we're learning about Jeffrey Willis's past tonight. Controversy continues to surround the new director of the DEQ, why protesters are calling it a conflict of interest.
Another hot day today. We saw high temperatures from the mid 80s to the lower 90s, but some cooler weather on the way.
Updates still coming throughout the next hour and a half after that deadly officer-involved shooting in Wyoming tonight. Stay with us.
You're watching Fox 17 News.